Hi, my name is Dhruv. I'm from Petofy, a company with everything about pets. Just imagine pet services on your fingertips, saving your time, serving the pets and their pet owners. So enroll with us now. We frequently do webinars for pet parents, pet lovers in general, where we discuss about different aspects of the hobby, their challenges, their causes, their solutions, and how to make pet keeping an enjoyable experience instead of a full-time job, obviously. And today we will be discussing about keeping pet fishes with the director of Liquid Aquarium, Mr. Aviral Rana, an aquarist for 20 years who has kept many different types of fishes and has bred quite a few as well. With extreme temperature fluctuations in the city of Dehradun, let's see how he manages to pull that off. So, Mr. Rana, considering most of the viewers here are as not as experienced as you are, can you break down the basics of the hobby starting with the journey in this hobby? Over to you, Rana, sir.
So, thank you so much, Dhruv, and hello everyone. Welcome to Petofy. Thank you first of all for such a glorious introduction. And basically, my journey started about 20 odd years back when I was still in school, and I just went to a friend's place, saw that there was a glass box with fishes in it. I find that very attractive, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some fishes. So I just went to the store and bought my very first goldfish. That's a cliche now in the hobby. So I bought my very first goldfish and I just put that poor thing in a bucket. And that poor thing had to survive in that bucket for about a week. After that, my father felt pity for the fish and he just went and bought a small aquarium. So, so after that, that very particular goldfish lived its entire life about a couple of months because I was not as experienced in that glass box, a very small aquarium. And after that, I bought more fishes. They kept on dying. I didn't know what was going wrong. I tried to connect with people, but they were not. Back then the hobby in Dehradun was not as informative as it is now. So that was the problem. But yeah, after that I started studying. I went to libraries. The only time I go to libraries to study about fishes. I studied, yeah, because okay, so it is very easy nowadays because you have the internet in your palm, you have your mobile phone with you all the time, and everybody has the
Right.
access to internet. But back in the day, internet, let alone internet, your phone was a luxury, right? I don't think that there was mobile phones, but yeah, internet was not as easy to come by. So we had to rely on books, on other people, experienced people to get knowledge. And so I went to the library because I didn't know anyone except for that one friend, and he was like, "Nahi, starting mein to fishes marti hain." Now I know that's a misconception, but back in the day I didn't knew
Obviously.
that's a misconception, right? That's a myth. Fishes don't die like that. You're not keeping them well. That is why they're dying, right? So I went to his place and I asked him, and he was like, "Nahi, yaar, fishes to starting mein marti hain." And I'm like, "Nahi, aisa nahi hota hai." So then I started studying about it, and then down the line I had some points. I still use them to this day. And yeah, so that is how that my journey started,
Hmm.
right?
So, would
So
you like to tell, yes, sir, yes, sir, those points? आप वो points बताना
yeah,
चाहेंगे
so
उसमें share करना
a couple of key points for people that already have aquariums and are struggling with it. So one, do not overfeed your fish. It's a general mentality, especially in middle class families, like पेट भर के मरो, खाना खा के मरो, भूखे नहीं मरना कभी. And it's a very very bad thing. This is a very bad advice. Nahi, overfeeding will kill your fish. So don't overfeed. Just feed the fish appropriate amount that you think is sufficient for it. Give it 5 minutes, 10 minutes at max. If it is not eating the food, just take it out. Use your net. You might have a siphon. If you don't have a siphon, पानी घर में सब डालते हैं पौधों पे पाइप से. You use that pipe, your garden hose, regular garden hose. Just put the other end inside your aquarium, suck it just like you would taking out petrol. I don't know if kids these days do it or not. But when we were younger and we had to bring some liquid out of a container, we had to suck from one end, and the other end should be inside that the water or whatever liquid. So use that method to suck all the extra food and the extra poop out that your filter is potentially not taking out. Apart from that, do not underestimate your biological filter, right? Generally what happens is like people go to aquarium shops and they're like, I need a filter, and they are giving this power head filter, right, with a power head on top and a sponge at the bottom. So that is good for mechanical filtration. It's good for working as a wave maker, creating waves in your aquarium, but it is not sufficient for biological filtration, right? And biological filtration is very important. I suggest going with other media, for example ceramic ring, or anything that has a huge amount of surface area and is neutral to your water parameters. You can take that. Never ever be lazy in terms of tank maintenance. Go and clean your tank, right? If there is some issue, you cannot do it every day. That's not an issue. Just once a week, do your water changes. Just change the water 50%. Don't change 100% water of your tank. Change the water 50%. Just do a little scrubbing inside the tank. You can use some scrub that is especially, you keep that for, excuse me, for your aquarium. Don't use the common one with detergents and everything. Never ever clean with soap. Never clean with soap. You can use your Scotch Brite, and other brands are available. So just use that to squish all the algae off of the glass. And yeah, you just change the water after that about 50%, and that's good enough, right? And apart from that, one more thing I would like to tell people, especially the new ones, that nothing good happens in an aquarium quickly. Good things
Obviously.
will take time. You have to be patient. So for example, what okay, so this is something that happened to a friend of mine. Started keeping fishes, and I was like, okay, you can keep guppies. He had a small tank, right? I think about 2 feet tanks. I was like, keep guppies. They are very small fish, very colorful, very bright, and always like dancing around here and there, and they're very easy to breed. So one day he saw a little tiny fry, we call fish babies fry. So he saw a tiny guppy fry, and he was all excited and wow, wow, wow. And he was like, "नहीं, अब मुझे breed करना है." I was like, hold your horses, brother. Good things take time. Just because accidentally it happened once, because that fish was pregnant when it was at the fish store, and then you got it and suddenly it gave babies the other day. Your tank is not ready for it, right? So
Obviously.
things will take time, and you need to understand that. And that is about
Do
it.
we need,
That is yeah.
sir,
Please carry
do
on,
we
Dhruv.
need a specific kind of system or an aquarium so that the breeding process happens better or something like that? Do we need to make up some specific points which are required for the breeding process? Like,
Yes.
if you
So,
can tell.
first of all, Dhruv, yes, absolutely. You need specific setups for different types of fishes, because different types of fishes or invertebrates breed in different types of
Oh,
environments. But for a
okay.
beginner, please forget about breeding. Just focus on keeping the tank, yeah, right? So focus on your fish or whatever you're trying to achieve. If you have a small bowl and you're keeping your shrimps in that, and as a side note, please don't keep goldfishes in bowls, because goldfishes get big. You don't have a
Oh,
if you have a bowl that is like 2 meters across in diameter, absolutely you can keep a goldfish. I don't know how where you'll get that bowl with a diameter of two
that
meters
so that
I'm
small
talking meters.
that small bowl is actually told in cartoons and in
Yes,
Bollywood, and they have made the people that mentality that it should be like that. And
yes.
as you say, it will actually not make the fish so big because of that, in a way,
So the fish will
right?
suffer. Imagine, Dhruv, us being full-grown adults. Forget about us being full-grown adults. When we were younger, we were like 3 feet tall, for example, or 4 feet tall. Imagine just if somebody took us 4 feet tall and just put in a storeroom that was like 6 feet tall. Now we are 6 feet tall, and we would have still been in that storeroom. We would have died long back. So this is what generally happens to most of the fish, and goldfish especially is arguably the most abused fish in the hobby, because people keep goldfish that can potentially grow up to a feet long. They take that goldfish when it is young and just put it in a glass box that is not even feet across. So that is a very bad thing. Goldfishes live for decades. For
अच्छा.
decades, I'm not talking months or years, I'm talking decades. Goldfish can live that long, but people don't take care of the fish. And there are lots of reasons, but yeah. And apart from that, apart from goldfish, another fish that is very much abused is the betta fish. Because
Hmm.
so if you go to any fish store, you'll find these small cups and this tiny, very beautiful fish put inside the cup, and the fish store will be like, "नहीं sir, ये छोटे space में ही रहता है." And you take that fish and just put it in a small glass or a jug or something. That's not good for the fish, right? So you need to give it proper space, right? So yeah,
तो मतलब
that
सही
is very
जगह,
very
बड़ी
important.
जगह अगर हम बड़ी जगह देंगे तो फिश ज्यादा ग्रो करेगी और अच्छा रहेगा फिशेस के लिए और हमारे लिए भी,
Yes,
बिकॉज
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. हमें हमेशा ध्यान रखना होता है कि भाई हम कितनी बड़ी मछली को रख रहे हैं अपने एक्वेरियम में, क्योंकि द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज, आई वुडंट कॉल इट अ प्रॉब्लम, इट इज पार्ट ऑफ द हॉबी. सो जब भी आप किसी दुकान पे जाते हैं तो जनरली जो हमें फिश मिलती हैं वहां पे, ज्यादातर, नॉट ऑल, दे आर वेरी यंग, राइट? उनकी एज होगी मुश्किल से 1 महीना, 2 महीना, 6 महीना, नथिंग मोर देन दैट, जनरली स्पीकिंग. So the problem, the charm of our hobby is watching our fishes grow, right? And the thing is, those fishes are small when they are young. Everybody is small when they are young, and they grow depending on the type of fish. Now you find, for example, a red tail catfish like this big, like 4 inches or 5 inches in size, and you're like, I like this fish, I'm gonna take it. And the fish shopkeeper will be like, sir, absolutely, this is the price, here you go, you do the transaction. He will never ask you how big a tank do you have, what kind of fishes do you already keeping. You take that red tail catfish and you take it at home, and it's a very tiny cute 4 or 5 inch fish, which is like very active and like here and there and very colorful, and you'll be like, wow, I love this fish. And you fast forward it a couple of months, a month or two, and it's a feet long fish. You fast forward 2 more months and it's a 2 feet long fish, and all of the other fishes are gone from your aquarium because it will eat everything.
ओ माय गॉड.
A general rule of thumb in keeping fishes is, if that thing can fit in my mouth, I will eat it, right?
ओके.
So
ओके.
there are seldom there are exceptions, otherwise you won't. That is like that is the case with almost all of the fish. If it can fit in my mouth, I'll
ओके.
eat it.
ओके.
And in some cases,
ओके.
even if that thing doesn't fit in my mouth, I will nip at it and I will eat it. So we need to keep in consideration of the compatibility as well, along with all the other things. Yeah.
सर, सो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी बताई है आपने. एंड आपको पता है मैं इससे रिलेट कर सकता हूँ अपने आप से, जैसे वो वन टाइम लाइब्रेरी वाला चीज है एज वेल, बिकॉज टर्निंग
हाँ
पॉइंट्स आते हैं लाइक, एंड एक बार जाते हैं हम, फिर दोबारा वी डोंट गो, बट दैट विच कनेक्ट्स विद आवर हार्ट वी गो देयर. एंड आई डू रिमेम्बर कि जब मेरी पहली फिश थी पुराने टाइम में, और उनकी मेमोरीज अभी भी मुझे बहुत ज्यादा मतलब चिल्स देती है. सो आपसे एक और क्वेश्चन पूछना था मुझे कि
पूछे.
व्हाट इज द बेसिक जनरल फूड एंड इट्स रूटीन दैट कैन गो फॉर एवरी फिश. मतलब ऐसा कौन सा जनरलाइज फूड है, जैसे हमारे लिए हम नॉर्मल कुछ खा सकते हैं, जैसे देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक जनरल फूड व्हिच वोंट डिक्रीज आवर हेल्थ इन दैट वे. सो फिशेस के लिए इन जनरल फॉर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ फिशेस कौन सा ऐसे जनरल फूड होगा जो ठीक रहेगा सब फिशेस के लिए
Okay.
मोस्टली, मतलब ऐसे
So
कोई जनरल फूड होगा, राइट?
Dhruv, so fishes come from different habitats, right? And they have different diets. There is no general food that you can feed to all of the fishes. No matter what the fish store tells you, your optimum or your tetrabits or all these things, your general foods available hai, I would not recommend going to them. Yeah, your tetrabits is a good food that you can generally speaking to feed most of the fishes, but not all, right? So what I would suggest is, go to the internet. Again, you have your phone, you have your mobile phone with you. You can go to the internet.
इंटरनेट में
आप
जाके चेक
YouTube
करो.
पे जाओ, go to Google, आप अपनी fish का नाम search करो, what I can feed to this fish, what is the type of diet that this fish has. So that will help you a lot. For example, so people keep arowanas, right? And they do live feeding, and they feed them fishes. So if I actually start nitpicking, Arowanas are insectivores, they are not pescivores, right? So what arowanas do in the wild is they look up on this to the sky, and they see different tree branches hanging on top of the rivers where they come from, the Amazon river, right?
Oh,
And they'll see
okay.
small insects that are crawling on those branches. So the
So they'll.
arowanas, what they do is they recoil in the tank and then they shoot up 6 feet
Oh my
off the
god.
water surface, and they have
Oh my
such a
god.
precise aim. They'll catch that insect and then they'll come down to the river, right? They have precise aim. So they're insectivores. They're not piscivores. Generally speaking, arowanas do not consume fish, but yeah, they get the same amount of nutrients from the fish or from the insect. A little variance, but yes, you can actually feed the fish. On the other hand,
Hmm.
goldfish, if I talk about goldfish, it is primarily
Hmm.
speaking an herbivore. It comes from the carp family, right? जो अपनी मछली हम लोग ग्रीन कार्प होती है, रोहू रोहू बोलते हैं आई थिंक उसको, जो इंडियन हाउसेस में कुक करके खाया जाता है, वो सेम फैमिली से है. इट इज सेलेक्टिवली ब्रेड. और उसके बाद गोल्डफिश आई. गोल्डफिश नेचर में नहीं मिलती है. उसकी जो
Oh, it
डाइट
is
होती है
artificial.
प्राइमरली, yes, it is, goldfish is an
बना.
artificially made fish. You won't find goldfish in the nature. Anyways,
I did not know, sir. किसी को पता भी नहीं होगा, sir. Obviously, I
बहुत
don't
कम
think
जो
so. मतलब
काफी
most of the.
ज्यादा
Yes.
जिनको काफी टाइम हो गया हॉबी में, if they actually start studying about this, only then they understand. But to be very honest, uh, uh, knowing these things, if the fish was artificially made or like it is found in nature, that is a very secondary thing. The main joy in our hobby is keeping fishes, watching them grow, right? Having fun with
Obviously.
the fish, right? Actually, so goldfish, you take flower horns, you have parrot cichlids. The multiple fishes that actually interact with their owners, right? So you can
सर
see
और ऐसा
numerous
भी होता
videos.
होगा कि. Yes, sir. ऐसा भी होता होगा कि हमको पता नहीं चलता कि फिश बढ़ चुकी है. जैसे we have a pet in our house. We won't know how much it has grown, but our friend comes and then like, तो बड़ी हो गई. We are like, अच्छा बड़ी हो गई है. Oh my God. यार मुझे तो पता नहीं चला.
That
This
happens a lot.
happens,
That
huh?
happens a lot.
That
Right?
happens a
So
lot.
my brother-in-law actually keeps some fishes, and I gave them like discus, and they were like about 2.5 inches in diameter, and I gave it to him, and he started keeping them. Then I went to his place again after a couple of months, and I was like, "अरे वाह, brother, बहुत बड़ी हो गई है आपकी discus." And he was like, "नहीं यार, इतनी तो थी." And I'm like, "नहीं, बहुत बड़ी हो गई है, bro." So that happens. That happens. But unless you're keeping like
Yeah, that
real
happens.
monster fishes, then if the difference is from okay,
Mhm.
so there is a question, I think, how much times should we
Yeah.
feed a fish in a day? Okay, so
Okay.
if you can get the time, feed as much as your fish can in a minute or two, and you can do multiple
Hmm.
feedings. For example, 3 times or 4 times or even 5 times a day. If you have small fishes, right, your fish just bred, and you have small baby fishes, then you feed up to like 6 times, 7 times, 8 times a day. So
Hmm.
for the past about two-ish years, I've been breeding this fish called the Betta fish, and
Oh,
so in a batch.
what?
Okay, so people
Okay.
say it is very difficult to keep to breed bettas in especially in a place like Dehradun where the temperature drops like crazy. But again, the basics are the same. No matter if you are a salt water person or a freshwater person, just understand the tank parameters that you have and make sure the fishes are getting those parameters, and stability is the key. Do not run for perfect parameters, run for stable parameters, right? Make that constant,
Hmm.
and then feed your fish how much it can eat in a minute or two. If you are feeding multiple times in a day, if you're just feeding
Hmm.
once or twice in a day, you can give the food to the fish and it will eat in like 4 or 5 minutes. That is good. Don't feed it anymore. Your fish should be aggressive towards the food instead of being passive towards the food, right? Please understand this. So okay, so I actually have a video on that. Let me quickly show that video,
Okay.
and I would request the host to start my screen share. If hold on, let me quickly share my screen.
Okay.
And I have a very interesting video that I've put on YouTube, right? And if
Okay.
you want, you can see that. Hold on. So yeah, so I would request the host of the meeting to please share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a video that I've put on YouTube, and I'll keep the video on mute so the audience can just see and listen to what we are saying. So this is a video that I've done about feeding the fish, right? And what you can do is, you'll see in the video I put a small. This is Australian blackworms. They're good for cichlids or any carnivorous fish. So I put that in the glass box, and as you can see, the angels. These white fishes are called angels, and the ones that came from the back, these are discus. So when I made this video, actually the
Okay.
fishes were new in the tank, and yeah, so they were a little shy from me. But as soon as I put the food in, they were like, "Oh, what is this?" And as soon as they saw the angels eating it, so they were like, "Oh, food! Let's attack!" And you can see that they're very
Understand.
aggressively eating the food. So this is the kind of aggression
Yes,
that
sir.
you are looking for in your fish, right? So
Mm.
please understand: do not overfeed your fish. If the fishes are not eating, please take out the food, and just if you can just try in a couple of hours, like for 2 or 3 hours. If you want to try that, yes. If you're a working person, if you go to your office, just feed like I generally do. So for my own personal tank, what I do is I get up in the morning, and when I'm having my breakfast, I'll just feed my fish and
No.
sit in
And
front of
then
it, and
you'll
I
check.
have my breakfast. Yeah,
Oh.
5 7 minutes, that's it. And then I'll get up, I'll put the dishes away, and then I'll go to my tank and just take out all the extra food that my fishes have not eaten, if they have left any. And in the evening, when I get for my dinner, I sit for my dinner again. I do the same thing. I just put food in my
Mm.
tank and sit down for my dinner, have my dinner, put the dishes away, and just clean the tank again, only for
Okay.
the excess food.
You can actually converge the timings with yours, and
Yeah.
then yeah, that
What
that
is
that is
stopping
a
you?
good
Nothing.
way, easier way.
Nothing
Yes.
is stopping you. And another
Mm.
thing about feeding, I would like to say, Dhruv, is because feeding is a very important topic. That is why we are hovering around it so much.
Mm.
And I want to spend some
Yes.
time, because this is a mistake that a lot of people do, and they do it all the time. That is why I want to focus on it, right? So uh, do not overfeed your fish. You need to take the fish food out, right? And I was gonna say something that I'm forgetting, but yeah, feed a good amount of food. And okay, yeah, so right now I'm in New Delhi. I'm not in Dehradun, excuse me, where all my tanks are. And there is
Mm.
no one who's gonna feed my fishes for the day or two that I'm here. And my fishes, I know my fishes will be okay, because in the wild, fishes don't, generally speaking, don't get food all the time, right? So even if they're not getting the food, right? So like you're feeding the fishes every day, but in the wild they're not getting food every day. So yeah, that's a trade-off. So even if you don't feed the fish every day, yes, that works just fine, right? So I hope that
Understand.
that answers the question. I think the name, I forgot the name of the person that asked this question. Okay, so we have couple. Does fish need special water parameters or temperature in an aquarium? Yes, all fishes need specific water parameters. Uh, so a general rule of thumb is that the fishes like the parameters of the place they're coming from. That is not a rule of thumb. That is the rule. But yes, with
Understand.
that said, fishes that you find these days in fish stores, at least for the freshwater ones, the salt water is another thing altogether. A beginner, if you are a beginner, I would suggest
Mm.
going with freshwater. You'll have a much easier affair. Down the line, go to saltwater if you want. If you're starting with saltwater, you'll have a much harder time. But yeah, coming back to the question that couple has. So couple, yes, fishes have specific water parameters, and I'm assuming that you asked this question, so you are absolutely new into this hobby. So ask the fish store guy, whoever is trying to sell you the fish, what are the parameters that this fish likes. So he will tell you, okay, this fish likes this much temperature, this is the range that you can keep it in. It will tell you this is the pH it will like, but most of the fishes hover around the neutral pH 7. So
Mm.
if your tank pH is from 6.5 to 7.5, most of the times, like absolutely almost all of the time, you are safe. your fishes will not have any problems whatsoever. Apart from that, there aren't much of the things that you should be worrying about in terms of parameters. So temperature is one thing. The other one, even pH is not that big a problem. So yeah, temperature is the only thing. Apart from that, when you feed your fish, and we're hovering back to food again, but yeah, when you feed your fish and you leave the food in the tank,
Hmm.
fishes also poop in the tank. What that does, it creates ammonia. So आपने कभी कभी notice करा होगा, when you go around certain aquariums, it smells very bad. That is ammonia, right? And some
Hmm.
aquariums don't smell because they don't have ammonia, because apparently their tank owner keeps on cleaning, or they have a very
So
good
that
filtration.
wahi same stink is there, and even in the public toilets, right? That same.
Yes, because even the
Yeah.
toilet, that smell is of ammonia. So both the gases are the same, so it will smell roughly
So
the
it is
same.
that dangerous. Okay. How many
Yes.
days can fish go without food? Vikas Tandwa
Okay,
is
so
asking.
because the thing is, your fishes, there's no general rule depending on the type of fish. So if you're keeping arowanas, people feed arowanas once or twice a week when they are
चल
adults.
ये वाला हिंदी में बताता हूँ.
Okay. So depending on the type of fish, आप फीडिंग आप कर सकते हैं. अब मैं ये नहीं बोल सकता विकास जी आपको कि नहीं, आप कोई भी आप मछली आंख बंद करके उठा लीजिए, 2 दिन तक खाना नहीं दोगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है. और या फिर 1 महीने दोगे. डिस्कस होती है, डिस्कस महीने महीने खाना नहीं खाती है. एंड देयर एब्सोल्यूट, मतलब जनरली जब वो बीमार होती है तब वो नहीं खाती है. बट जब डिस्कस आप मंगाते हैं कहीं से, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल डिस्कस के जनरली स्पीकिंग जो अच्छे वेंडर्स हैं, दे आर इन मुंबई, दे आर ब्रीडर्स इन मुंबई एंड बेंगलुरु एंड चेन्नई. सो जब हम लोग डिस्कस ऑर्डर करते हैं तो हम लोग मुंबई से करते हैं. हमारे जो वेंडर है ही इज इन मुंबई. तो जब हम उनको ऑर्डर प्लेस करते हैं तो ये हमारा पहले से अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि 1 हफ्ते तक फिश को खाना नहीं दिया जाएगा.
तो
1 हफ्ते के बाद उसको ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाएगा. फिर जब मछली मेरे पास आएगी तो मुझे इमीडिएटली खाना नहीं देना है. सो मुझे भी 1-2 दिन उसको मॉनिटर करूंगा मैं विदाउट फूड. उसके बाद आई फीड द फिश. सो and if I do the same thing with a tetra and not feeding it for like a week, it will die. But it won't die, but yeah, it will get into a pretty bad shape, which we don't want. और discuss को उतना major issue नहीं होता है. So
उनका
to answer your
अच्छा.
question, Vikas ji, unfortunately there is no one short answer, but yes, you can Google it. When to do first water change in a new aquarium. So
By
Naveen bhai,
Naveen. Bravo. Yes, sir.
yes. So Naveen bhai, the thing is, if your aquarium is new and you are doing a fish cycle, मतलब आपने आज aquarium खरीदा और आपने immediately उसमें fish डाल रखी है, मैं recommend करूंगा कि आप at least 10% water आप रोज change करें for a week or two. क्योंकि एक चीज होती है जिसे बोलते हैं नाइट्रोजन साइकिल. नाइट्रोजन साइकिल में क्या होता है कि there are 2 types of bacteria in all the aquariums, especially the established ones, जो कि कई काफी टाइम से चल रहे हैं. एक होता है नाइट्रोसोमास, नाइट्रोसोनोमास, सोमोनास. आई एम सॉरी, टंग ट्विस्टिंग नेम है, आई गेट कंफ्यूज्ड. या सो जो अभी हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, अमोनिया बिल्ड होता है पानी में फ्रॉम रॉटिंग फूड, जो लेफ्ट ओवर फूड है, और जो फिश पूप होता है. तो जो नाइट्रोसोमोनास बैक्टीरिया होता है, ये क्या करता है, इस अमोनिया को ईट करता है और उसको नाइट्राइट बनाता है. नाइट्राइट्स जो होते हैं, दे आर सिग्निफिकेंटली लेस हार्मफुल देन अमोनिया. इसके बाद जब नाइट्राइट्स बनाता है तो उसके बाद एक दूसरा बैक्टीरिया होता है जिसका नाम होता है नाइट्रोबैक्टर. नाइट्रोबैक्टर क्या करता है, वो आपका नाइट्राइट को लेता है और उसको कन्वर्ट करता है नाइट्रेट में. तो और नाइट्रेट्स बहुत ज्यादा कम हार्मफुल होते हैं, बट यस हार्मफुल होते हैं. सो वी नीड टू डू वाटर चेंजेस टू गेट रिड ऑफ देम. जब तक हमारा ये नाइट्रोजन साइकिल स्टैब्लिश नहीं हो रहा है, आई वुड रिकमेंड दैट हम लोग डेली 10%, 20%, नेवर 100% पानी चेंज करें टैंक का. और हमेशा ध्यान रखिए कि आप पानी को जब टैंक में डालते हैं उससे पहले डीक्लोरिनेट कर लें. एंटी क्लोरीन या डीक्लोरिनेटर वाटर कंडीशनर्स अवेलेबल है मार्केट में. बहुत सारी कंपनीज है, रेडॉल है, you have Bubbles and Troubles, you have CCAM, you have API. many companies are reliable, companies are available. और Bubbles and Troubles स्पेशली इंडिया में आजकल बहुत अच्छा, मतलब इंडियन ब्रांड है, प्रोड्यूसिंग लाइक ऑसम मेडिसिन फॉर ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ फिशेस. सो आप उसका कंडीशनर यूज कर सकते हैं और आप पानी को एज कर सकते हैं. 24 घंटे या उससे ज्यादा रखो पानी को किसी डब्बे में, क्लोरीन उड़ जाएगा. सो तब आप उसको पानी को डालिए. 1 हफ्ता 2 हफ्ता आप ऑलमोस्ट रोज पानी चेंज करें, ये मैं रेकमेंड करूंगा. अदरवाइज आप क्या कर सकते हैं, अगर आपके पास एक से ज्यादा एक्वेरियम्स है तो आप पुराने एक्वेरियम से कोई भी सामान उठाइए और अपने नए एक्वेरियम में 24 घंटे के लिए छोड़ दीजिए। वो क्या करेगा, वो नाइट्रोजन साइकिल किक स्टार्ट कर देगा, क्योंकि पुराने एक्वेरियम में तो उसके ऊपर बैक्टीरिया है। आप कोई भी कुछ भी एनीथिंग, एनी सॉलिड आइटम that has been in the old aquarium for 24 hours or more will have bacteria on it. You just take that and put it in your new tank. But understand this कि अगर पुराने टैंक में कोई बीमारी हो रही है ना, तो वो उसको भी लेके आ सकता है। So you need to be
Okay, it
careful
can be
about that. हाँ.
transferable. Okay.
Yes. So for example,
Because
agar if I get into the fish diseases, so there are a lot of fish diseases that are very common. And I think Petofy has a doctor as well, because me as a fish
yeah,
hobbyist, it is very difficult for me to find a vet for my fishes.
obviously.
But I think we have in Petofy we have Dr. Swati. So if she's available, Dhruv, I would request you to ask her to be on the call.
Yeah. We can add her.
Yeah, can we? Can we? Oh yeah. Hello, Dr.
Yeah.
Swati. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
All good, ma'am. So we were
So we
discussing
were
about
all good
a
now.
couple of common diseases, and I thought I invite you in this call. I'm so sorry for being so abrupt, but yeah, Dhruv
Okay.
was kind enough to add you in the call, and you kind enough to join. So can you please enlighten us for a couple of diseases for the fishes?
सो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि जो मोस्ट ऑफ द डिजीजेस या डिसऑर्डर्स जो भी फिशेस में होते हैं या एक्वेरियम में होते हैं, वो बेसिकली होता है अगर पुअर मैनेजमेंट है, इफ देयर इज लाइक लो पीएच और इफ देयर इज लाइक ओवर क्राउडिंग और एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन या टेम्परेचर उनके लिए ऑप्टिमम नहीं है, तो मोस्ट ऑफ द डिसऑर्डर्स इससे ही होता है, बिकॉज यू नो मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर फिश कल्चर एंड fish keeping. But yeah, there are some infectious agent also which basically occurs some infections in fishes. So इनमें सबसे common है protozoal infections. Protozoal infections में you can like there is Ichthyopteris multifilus which causes white spot disease. वो basically क्या करते हैं, उनकी body पे पूरे parasites लग जाते हैं और एक cyst टाइप का लीजन उनकी बॉडी पे करते हैं, जो आपको ऐसा दिखता है कि व्हाइट स्पॉट्स होते हैं, सो दैट्स व्हाई
White
इट
spot,
कॉल्ड
black
व्हाइट
spot.
स्पॉट. सो बेसिकली क्या होता है, जो ये पैरासाइट्स होते हैं ये ऑलरेडी फिशेस में एक लो नंबर पे प्रेजेंट होते हैं, और अगर उनका दे आर स्ट्रॉन्ग इनफ, इम्यूनिटी अच्छा है, तो पैरासाइट्स और नंबर में ग्रो नहीं कर पाते हैं. बट इफ योर फिश इज अंडर क्रोनिक स्ट्रेस और इफ दे आर अंडर स्ट्रेस फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, सो इनको एक चांस मिल जाता है और दे बेसिकली रिप्रोड्यूस रैपिडली एंड ग्रो इन मैसिव नंबर. सो ये इसको व्हाइट स्पॉट डिजीजेस, फिर व्हाइट स्पॉट्स उनकी बॉडी में ये हो जाता है. सो इसका ट्रीटमेंट हम कर सकते हैं, बहुत सारे डिसइंफेक्टेंट मार्केट में है, लाइक कॉपर सल्फेट एंड फॉर्मेलिन का कॉम्बिनेशन बहुत अच्छा वर्क करता है व्हाइट स्पॉट डिजीजेस को एलिमिनेट करने में. और दूसरा, हम इनके टेम्परेचर को थोड़ा सा रेज कर सकते हैं, वाटर टैंक के टेम्परेचर को, बिकॉज उससे क्या होगा कि वो पैरासाइट का मेटाबॉलिज्म थोड़ा सा इंक्रीज कर देगा और उनके लिए वो उतना फेवरेबल कंडीशन नहीं होगा रिप्रोड्यूस करने के लिए, तो उनका रिप्रोडक्शन थोड़ा सा स्लो डाउन हो जाएगा. सो बट मैनेजमेंट, अगेन आई एम सेइंग लाइक मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि अगर वो बहुत ज्यादा नंबर में ग्रो कर जाएंगे तो द डिजीजेस कैन बी फेटल. अनदर
Very well said. But just, ma'am, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but there's one more thing before we continue, and this is coming from a hobbyist. People, please understand, if you are using any copper medication in your tank, make sure you take out all of your invertebrates. This includes your snails, your shrimps, or you have prawns or any invertebrate in your tank, because copper sulfate or any copper, it will kill those. So if you have beautiful nerite snails, right, you have beautiful really shrimps in your tank, please don't put copper in your aquarium, because that will actually kill these, right? So you might want to take those out. And yes, just like ma'am just said, if you raise the temperature, so what I generally do is I raise my tank temperature to 32 degrees centigrade, 32 depending on the type of fish, and even 35 for certain fishes. I raise the tank temperature and I put in methylene blue. So just like ma'am said, that creates an inhospitable environment for the protozoan infections, the ick, and it gets removed from the tank. And we need to do regular water changes so that the parameters, the dead parasites or the ones that have been shrugged off from the fish's body, they get removed from the aquarium at all costs. So yeah,
methylene blue. Yes. What is it about methylene blue?
The cleaning of the tank is also very much important. If there is any chemical residue in your tank, you have to remove that also. and the
Yes.
regular water changes, as Aviral has already mentioned. It also very important. So in this series, the another protozoan disease which is very common. It's in layman language it's called Goldust disease, which is basically caused by Udinium. It is also a kind of protozoan parasite. It basically causes a white gold like spots on your fishes. So basically all these
Hmm.
protozoan parasite basically affect their skins and their gills. And another protozoa which is important is Spironucleus and Hexameta, which basically causes
Yeah.
diarrhea kind of symptoms in
Hmm.
fishes. And
And the white poop, stringy
yeah,
and white poop because of the hexameter. Yeah, so
yeah,
fishes, generally speaking, not generally, fishes don't poop white things, okay? Their poop is generally a little brown in color or red, depending on the type of food that you're doing. So if their poop is like very stringy, long poop and it's white, so it's a common symptom that your fish have hexameter. It's a type of parasite that is living inside your fish and it is eating your fish inside out. We don't want that,
Okay.
and it causes hole in the head.
Yeah.
So your fishes, it's eating your fish. You will see holes, especially in discus and angelfish and oscars, flower horns. These are very common fish that get hexameter, and you'll see holes coming out of their head because this parasite is eating away from inside out. So ma'am, I generally use potassium permanganate to get rid of this.
yeah.
What are your inputs on that, ma'am?
It is also a very good disinfectant for as well for fungal diseases as well, like Saprolegina, which is also another
Hmm.
common fungal diseases, and it
So,
causes like cotton-like growth on your fishes.
hmm.
So other than that, there are some bacteria like Mycobacterium, Vibriosis, Edwardsella, and these are some of the bacteria which basically causes infection. Like there is one bacteria which is Arowanas, and Arowanas like bacteria ये बेसिकली क्या करते हैं कि डीप अल्सर्स बेसिकली कॉज करते हैं. और देयर इज आल्सो वन कंडीशन व्हिच इज अ ब्लोट इज बेसिकली अ जो उनके एब्डोमेन में यानी बेली रीजन में फ्लूइड एक्यूमुलेट हो जाता है. सो दैट इज
Hmm.
दैट इज अ ब्लोट. or it also known as dropsy or like pincone disease. So for bacterial infection you can go for a simple antibiotics like one is which is
तो
very much used. It's
फिशेस का
tetracycline and
स्टमक
it's
रहता है
Peptosporin.
एक्वेरियम
You
में.
can go for these antibiotics. And another chemical, it's a chloroquine which you can use. So I just give a एक मैं आपको एक ग्लिम्स दे देती हूँ जो डिजीजेस होती हैं फिशेस में. Other than that, some eye disorders also happens in fishes. और ये basically injuries की वजह से हो सकती है. If you are noticing any blood in your fish eye, that may be due to a injury, or maybe it's a transport injury. So that's sorry, that's all from my side.
No,
So these are the
that's. Thank you
common
so much.
diseases.
Thank you so much, doctor. And that
So
was very
basically,
insightful.
what I just want to say कि basically fishes में क्या है कि management treatment part has a very बहुत कम importance है. management part का ज्यादा
Right.
importance है. Because जब तक आप
Right.
treatment उनका करेंगे तब तक वो इतनी छोटी है कि मर ही जाएंगी. तो management is very much important. अगर हम उनकी pH को मेंटेन कर रहे हैं, टेम्परेचर को मेंटेन कर रहे हैं, और गुड सैनिटेशन कंट्री रेगुलर इंटरवल्स में वाटर चेंज जैसे भी एक्वेरिस्ट आपको रिकमेंड करते हैं, वैसे अगर हम उनका रख या हम उन जो कंपैटिबल स्पीशीज हैं उनको अगर हम अपने थोड़ा रिसर्च कर लें एक्वेरियम लेने से पहले,
Correct.
जो स्पीशीज कंपैटिबल हैं एक दूसरे के साथ उन्हीं को हम रखें, तो इससे आपको ज्यादा बेनिफिट होगा. और that's it from my side.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Swati. And so yeah, Dhruv,
Thank you,
just like
doctor.
ma'am,
Thank you so much. Yes.
just like ma'am said, it is more important thing is prevention, and you can ask any doctor this. So prevent rather than cure, right? So just keep your tank parameters stable, right?
Prevention
Keep the
is better
temperature.
than cure, right?
Prevention is much better than cure.
Better than cure.
Yes, absolutely. Apart from that, I strongly recommend if you're having any problems, go to the internet. The fish community is very strong. You can find the entire community on across all of the social media. You can find them on
Uh,
Facebook, Instagram,
sir,
everywhere. If you have a problem, ask the question.
sir, yeah, I wanted to ask one question which is relevant. Maybe you have already answered, but to specify it कि ऐसे कौन से key points हैं जो हमें दिमाग में रखने चाहिए ताकि फिशेस एक लंबी और खुशहाल जिंदगी एक एक्वेरियम में जी पाए।
Okay,
तो
so
आप पॉइंट्स बताइए, which all points are there?
one,
Yes.
खुशहाल जिंदगी जीने के लिए आपको एक अच्छा सा घर चाहिए होता है, right? So you need to understand, if you're going to buy a fish, please ask the shop owner or do this on check this through the internet, what is the biggest size that that particular fish can get to. So if you like, for example, so if you like a discus fish, or if you like angels, right, freshwater angel fish, a very beautiful fish, so if you like that, you might want to check how big it gets. And after that, wherever you see that okay, it gets this big, then you can do an estimate. Okay, I need this bigger tank. For example, you need discus fish, right? You like it, good. How big it gets? 6 inches, 7 inches it gets in diameter. It's a circular fish, right? And so how big a tank I need? If a fish gets almost a feet in diameter, it will need a large amount of tank. So you get a 5 feet tank, you get a 6 feet long tank, left to right. When I say long, I'm saying left to right, right? So you get a tank that is that big. If you're planning on putting arowanas in your tank, so arowanas, if you're buying silver arowanas, it can grow to like 4 feet long. You're not gonna put a 4 feet long fish in a 4 feet long tank. That is just bad. Don't put that. So yeah, provide them with a big amount of space so that it can swim around here and there. Second, understand the dietary needs of the fish, right? So you need to
Okay.
understand what type of food that particular fish likes. Does two fishes of different breeds harm each other? Yes, Sparsh, I'm just coming to that question. To that, I'm just coming to that point. So
Okay.
understand the dietary needs of the fish, what it likes to eat, what is good for it to eat. Provide it with that food. Do not overfeed, uh, or do not overfeed your fish. Uh, Provide the parameters in the tank and make sure that they are absolutely stable as you can possibly make them, right? There should be good aeration in your tank. The filtration should be awesome. So in my tanks, I've gotten this comment from a lot of people that I have big filters. I have oversized filters. I don't think I have oversized filters. Uh, I think people have undersized filters. So please largen your filters, right? Your filter can never
So,
be strong enough to compare with the nature, right? Do that.
yeah,
Apart
obviously,
from that,
obviously.
yes. Apart from that, tank mates. So you need to understand if the fish can live with other fishes or not. For example, flower horns are generally kept alone in a tank. Discuss people, what they do is, uh, generally speaking, well, in discuss can live in a community, but they will be much happier if they are living alone in their own separate home. So you need to understand what kind of tank mates uh, go together well. For example, I can put multiple tetras, different types of tetras in a tank. I can put rasboras and tetras simultaneously, but if I'm keeping fishes, I will, generally speaking, I will not keep a very docile or a large finned fish, wow, tongue twister, like an angel fish, with fishes that are known to nip at other fish. I will not keep, for example, goldfish with bucktooth tetras or piranhas.
Okay.
Piranhas are tetras. They'll eat the goldfish, right? And I'd avoid that. So yes, before we buy a fish, we need to check this. If the fish that are already in my tank, will they be okay if I bring in this new fish, or will those eat the new one, or the new one will eat the existing one? So we need to keep these things in mind, and always remember, stability promotes success. SPS, the saltwater side of the hobby, it is very common. People always say this, ki, what do I do? Brother, stability promotes success. Keep it stable. Okay, my fish is not acting normal. What should I do? So promote depends. Totally depends on what you are calling normal. If, for example, if a fish is generally strolling around casually in your tank, but suddenly it is jumping, the problem might be that it is not able to find, it has some threat in the tank, or it is not getting enough oxygen or some food, or I don't know, it is scared or something. If it is hiding
Maybe
in a
clean your
corner, and
tank.
earlier yeah, if it is hiding in a corner and earlier it used to dart around here and there, the fish is probably sick. You might want to get that treated. I would recommend that you take a video, record that video. You can share it with us as well.
हिंदी
Absolutely
में
no issue.
बता दो support. Yes, sir.
we can help you get that sorted. Or if you already are on Facebook, you can record a video, go to Facebook, look for different fish groups. I'm absolutely 100% sure that there is a group on Facebook specific to that fish type that you're having problems with. So you might want to put that video in the group, and people will help you almost immediately. So we have a very strong community. So yeah, these are the things that we should keep in mind, and lighting is very important if we're keeping live plants as well. So we want to make sure we check on that as well. And for a beginner,
I had
I
one
would recommend.
question.
Yes, please ask Dhruv.
Okay. Sir, same type की fishes, can they be harmful? Any, मतलब, just a silly question, I would say.
No,
The
that's
same
not a
type
silly
of,
question.
do
So
they
there's
be
a fish,
harmful?
betta fish. I was talking about it earlier. So the betta
Hmm.
fish, the males are very extremely territorial, and bettas can be kept with other fish. Not all, but it can be kept with other
Oh,
breeds of fish. But generally speaking, two male bettas in a tank is not a good idea,
they'll
because they
bite
will
each
compete
other off.
and they will kill one or the other or both. Yeah. So although I have kept like more than 500 in the same tank, but yes, I was breeding them and they were growing. They were siblings, so that is how they were.
Oh, they were
For the
okay. They were
starting
okay
for a
with
couple
it.
of months when they had not reached sexual maturity. Yes, I kept them. Then I sold them off, and yeah, so now they're all living in their own separate homes, and they're not biting each other. Hopefully,
Hmm. Territorial काफी रहते हैं ये लोग. Okay. So
very
getting on
extremely
to
territorial.
other points that you might have missed for the journey of fishes,
Yeah,
like
so I came across certain
fish types.
misconceptions, myths or misconceptions. So, one, fishes bring good luck to your house.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
fishes, I'm not sure if they bring in good luck, but yes, they're very relaxing to watch. I watch my fishes, and it is a very relaxing experience. I love watching my fishes. I just sit down in front of my tank. I just take a cup of tea, and I'm sipping on tea, watching my fishes do their thing, and they love it when I'm sitting in front of the tank, because they're always like, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. And it's very funny. So I feed them as well a little, because at the end of the day, I'm also human, and we love feeding our pets. So जब भी हम
Oh.
aquarium में थोड़ा सा खाना डालेंगे ना, your fishes will come and oh, खाना आया, खाना आया, खाना आया. So that is a very lovely experience, and I'm not sure lucky, but yeah, I feel very lucky after keeping
Some
fishes.
people
And
do say कि lucky तो होते हैं, मतलब हो ही जाते हो lucky because you have been taking care of them. They also
yeah,
in a way take care of you, so they are lucky in a way.
and apart from that, people say कि यार अब जब तुम नया टैंक खरीदते हो तो शुरू में तो मछली मरती ही है. That is that is absolutely a myth. It is a misconception. No, they don't. मरती ही है नहीं होता है. You're not
आपको
providing them
पता
with
नहीं
the
होता.
right environment. Yes,
Yes.
you are not providing them with the right environment. So मरेगी ही. आप नए टैंक में डाल रहे हैं, जो हमने नाइट्रोजन साइकिल अभी डिस्कस करा था, स्टैब्लिश नहीं हुआ है. अमोनिया बिल्डअप हो रहा है. आप पानी चेंज नहीं कर रहे हैं. You're not taking the extra poop out or the fish extra food out. अमोनिया बढ़ेगा पानी में. It will burn out their gills. They will not be able to breathe and they will die. अगर आपकी फिश मरी है, उसके गिल्स बहुत ज्यादा डार्क रेड हो रखे थे या ब्लैक हो रखे थे,
Oh my
ammonia is the
God.
problem. Your tank must be smelling like crazy. Please change the water of your tank continuously for 3 days. Just change 50% every day, and you will see that there is significant improvement in your tank conditions. So yes, that is another misconception. The third thing is, um, आपके घर में आपके ऊपर कोई आपदा आ रही होती है तो फिशेस अपने ऊपर ले लेती हैं and they die instead of like you being the victim of that bad omen. I don't know. Sometimes
Yeah.
fishes die without any apparent reasons, and we cannot do anything about it. It might be true. I don't know.
So there is
Okay,
a
Ankit
queries.
says, I have seen it. Sometimes fishes become very restless and gasp and swim towards the surface. Why this happens? Okay, yes. So Ankit, so the problem with that is, so fishes are like other animals, right? So they breathe in oxygen, they breathe out carbon dioxide. In water, the concentration of oxygen is already very less as compared to that in air. So we need to push in oxygen. in the tank. So if you see in the rivers, what happens is there are ripples on the surface. What that does is it does an oxygen exchange, right? So carbon dioxide from the water gets out and oxygen from the air gets in, right? So that to stabilize the concentration on both sides.
ये नहीं पता था सर.
तो हाँ, तो आपके टैंक पे अगर सरफेस एजिटेशन नहीं हो रहा है, आपके सरफेस पे लहरें नहीं बन रही है पानी में, that is a problem. We need that. Second, अगर for any reason you cannot make the surface all swirly, आप एक air pump लेकर के आइए, just put a hose through that pump and get it in your tank. ऑक्सीजन की कमी है, आप एयर बबल्स करिए, एयर बबल्स धीरे धीरे जैसे पानी में नीचे से ऊपर आते हैं, तो बबल के अंदर भी हल्का हल्का सरफेस एजिटेशन होता है, तो वहां से थोड़ा थोड़ा गैस एक्सचेंज होता है, सरफेस पे आके फटते हैं, तो सरफेस पे लहरें बननी शुरू हो जाती है, ऑक्सीजन एक्सचेंज. अंकित, आपकी प्रॉब्लम बस यही है आपके टैंक पे. अगर आपकी फिशेस ऊपर आ रही हैं एयर ग्रास्प करने के लिए, प्लीज, अमोनिया प्रॉब्लम है और ऑक्सीजन प्रॉब्लम है. सो अमोनिया इज मोर, ऑक्सीजन इज लेस. प्लीज डू अ 50% वाटर चेंज and add a air stone in it, right?
तो वैसे वो मुंह खोलते खोलते सरफेस पे आ जाते हैं, राइट? फिशेस ऐसे मुंह खोलते खोलते.
हाँ, सरफेस पे आके ऐसे सांस लेने लगती है. और इस केस में आपको एक चीज बताता हूँ ध्रुव, a very interesting thing. Oh, okay, Anil, I'm very happy I can clear your questions. I cleared your doubts. So, Dhruv, another very interesting thing I would like to tell about fishes.
Yes, sir.
We say fishes breathe in water, but there are certain superpowered fish. The Betta Fish, the Gouramis, the Gars, the Australian eel. No, I forgot the name of that fish. These fishes can breathe atmospheric air. Snakeheads. Snakehead is a very common species in India. They actually breathe atmospheric air because they have a special. No. They do not breathe through gills the atmospheric air. They have a special organ called the labyrinth. It works very similarly to our lungs, and it helps them breathe the atmospheric air.
And it is it's not like gills. It is inside only, right? Is it visible?
It is inside the body. Works similar to lungs. So why fishes cannot breathe the atmospheric air? The only simple reason is if you have seen the inside of our lung, the surface area is gigantic. There is only one way how any organism breathes, and that is by diffusion, right? We have more concentration of carbon dioxide in our lungs, and the air outside has a higher concentration of oxygen. That switch place, and this is the only way how anything breathes. Anything, take plants, take animals, take fishes, take, I don't care what thing you bring me. If it is alive and it is breathing, it is doing that thing. Now some animals, because of their size, they can breathe through their skin. How fishes do it? If you take like 5-7 tissue paper in your hand together and just put it in water, it will swirl, and the surface area will be like 4 and 5. And if you take that very tissue paper and bring it out, it will stick to it, stick with each other, and the surface area will decrease. That is the only reason fishes are not able to breathe outside. Now what this labyrinth does is it helps them create a large surface area even when they're outside. In America, snakeheads are causing problems. Why? Because they come out of their pond and they start running towards other ponds because they can breathe atmospheric air. So that is not a problem. If people are like, oh, walking monster fish, and that has caused a lot of stir and problems there. But yeah, so that is that.
They come towards the land, or they jump and then breathe. What they do? How do they?
They come to the top. They come to the top of the aquarium. They put their mouth outside the water surface. They breathe and then they get inside because they're more comfortable in water swimming. Na? They'll be very clumsy if they're walking on land, but they're very comfortable in swimming in the water.
Obviously.
Snakeheads do this. Snakeheads actually come out of their pond in the nature. They actually come out of their ponds or rivers to look for new places. If they don't have any food in the puddles in the drought season, they actually get out of water and go here and there.
There is another question.
In my aquarium, 2 fishes died and other fishes were good and calm. So how can we change temperature and water in this condition? What do we do? Okay. If your fishes die, just take that fish out and flush it, first of all. Or you can bury it in your garden. it will convert and become fertilizer for your plants if you have any, right? So you can do either two, or if you have some religious beliefs, you can do the burial service and God knows all that thing. So if you take all the fishes out, I would recommend doing water change, because if the fish has died, I don't want to risk it for any reason. If any of the any
Particles.
small portion of its body has left in the tank, that will start rotting and start creating ammonia. I don't want ammonia in my tank. So yeah, I would rather take it out and just do a 50% water change, and I would prefer doing it with a siphon. Yeah, so that is all that you should do, Anurag. And whenever you're putting new water in, I would recommend that you make first of all, dechlorinate, absolute must. If you can get the water up to the same temperature as your tank, so you can put the water in the polybags and you can just put that polybag inside the tank, and after like 10-15 minutes you can just release the water then. So that helps.
सर कोई ऐसा मीटर भी होता है, इंस्ट्रूमेंट भी होता है which can tell कि water में ammonia present है या कितना present है, something like that, because of the technology or something?
There are test kits available which can tell you all sort of things. How much ammonia is there in the tank, how much is your pH, how much is the water hardness, how much is the nitrite, how much is the nitrate. Nitrite should ideally be 0. Nitrates should be less than 20 parts per million. So if you take your
ppm.
Aquarium water, yeah, ppm. So if you take your aquarium water, divide it into a million parts, right? Only 20 parts should be nitrate, 20 or less. If it is 0 in freshwater tank, awesome. There's no problems whatsoever. And if you have live plants, that help you achieve that. If you have a saltwater tank, some amount of nitrate is required because of certain things that I cannot say here online. So certain things actually require some inverts and other live stones that are available in the saltwater tanks. They need nitrates to survive, right? Because the livestock in a freshwater tank and a saltwater tank differ vastly. So Anurag, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
And yes,
Thank you so much, Anurag Panwal, for asking the question as well. Okay.
yes, it's our pleasure. And please, everyone, please understand, if you are having any problems and you are not able to get any help from your local shopkeepers or anywhere, you have the
You can
entire world behind you. Go to the social media, Facebook, Instagram. Just let me know what social media you are on. I'm sure you'll find a group there that where people are willing to help you out.
or you can
Because
directly message her over Facebook.
you can absolutely go to Facebook, go to my channel. Yeah, go to
You can
Liquid
ask-
Aquarium, ask me a question. Just message me. I'll help you out. I'm available in Dehradun. Most of my customers, 98% or more of my customers are in New Delhi. I live in Dehradun. People order things from Delhi to Dehradun so that it ends up being cheaper. People from Delhi order fishes from Dehradun from me because they want good quality fishes. I'm not a very cheap vendor, but yes, I am a quality vendor. I will provide you with quality fish, even if they are not cheap. You'll never find a goldfish like 50 rupees from me. The cheapest goldfish that I sold was like 2,500 rupees because I was providing quality. Yes, there is a difference. But yes,
सर
so
लगता है
that
पता
happens.
चल रहा है आपकी बातों से पता चल रहा है that you care a lot about fishes as well,
Yes,
and you are मतलब कि सीख लो कि कैसे
please,
करना है, otherwise
I will
मत
help
रहे,
you.
right?
Exactly. I will help you. If you want to keep fishes, you're struggling, come to me. I will help you. You can find me on Instagram, Liquid Aquarium DDN for Dehradun. Just get rid of all the spaces, LIQUID, AQUARIUM, DDN. You'll be able to find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. I'm new to YouTube with this channel. But yes, I am available there as well. You can ask any question, whatever. I'm doing a couple of DIY projects as well. I've put the link. I've not put the link. That's the usual term. So I've made some videos on YouTube. Go there, check them out. If you need any further help, let me know. The entire world is behind you. People want you to get into this hobby and just like do awesome things.
No, obviously
So
it
let me
is
tell you
good
a
to watch.
very interesting thing, Dhruv. Do you know
Yes, sir.
there's a fish called the giant gourami? Got
Okay, I've
extinct.
not heard that
It got
name. Okay.
extinct. Yeah, there's a fish called giant gourami. It is a giant monster fish, like this big. Got extinct from the nature. People bred that fish in captivity for a long period of time. And now what they
Hmm.
did is they bred it in captivity, took the babies, put them in their natural environment, and now they're thriving in the nature.
They're there, back again,
Yes,
back in
back in
time.
action,
Wow.
bruh. Now
Back in
another a
action.
saltwater fish, the Bangai cardinal fish. That's the saltwater cardinal fish, not the freshwater one. So the
Hmm.
Bangai cardinal fish again went to like critically endangered. I think it got extinct or was critically endangered, that I'm sure of. In
Many,
the
many.
sea. Yeah, people bred that fish in captivity and took it to their natural habitat, and now it is
They are
again
back.
back in business, thriving again. Right? So
How,
it never ever ever
how do
under
we how do we do it, sir? Actually, if it is endangered, if it is gone, then
from the
how?
nature. Okay, so we bring in fishes to our homes and then we breed them in captivity,
Okay.
and then we sell the offsprings.
And we make them float inside whatever the water body is, and they can
Yeah,
breed or something like
absolutely.
that.
So I have bred a lot of fishes, right? I've bred cichlids. I've bred African cichlids. I've bred goldfish. I've bred angels. I've bred discus. I've bred bettas. You just name a fish. I've bred cardinals. I've bred harlequin rasboras. I've bred guppies and mollies. Everybody has bred. There is no person in the planet has not bred guppies or mollies. I've bred all of these, right? And so you can breed them in captivity. Let's say there's a zebra danios, right? They are naturally available in Dehradun,
Okay, they look
right?
like zebra or something.
They have stripes on their bodies, right? So
Oh,
they are available in Dehradun. Danios are available in India, naturally speaking. And so
oh.
if I have some in my tank, I find that the ones in my local water body have gone completely gone, right? Somebody
Hmm.
came into the lake and fished them all out. So I can breed them in my
Hmm.
captivity and just take their eggs and put in the water.
Hmm. And then they'll breed again. But it might be like
Inbreeding is
either.
not a problem with inbreeding is not a problem with fishes, generally speaking.
So there is another question. What things can we keep in our aquarium to keep fishes healthy?
One, clean water. Second, clean water. Third, if the fishes require if the certain fishes require hiding spots, so yes, you can actually provide with some hiding spots. But yeah, clean water is the only thing that you need in your tank.
They do like hiding spots.
Sorry, yeah, some of
So
the fishes do like
hiding.
hiding spots.
Oh, I did not
Yes.
know. Mm.
Yeah. So there are African shell-dwelling cichlids that they like hiding in shells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
breed their entire colonies there. There's this YouTuber king of DIY, Joey. You might want to see his channel. He has a big colony of shell dwellers. Legendary fellow. Follow
Can you
him.
tell about something about eels or oyster?
Hold on, there's
Will
another question.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
planning to buy an aquarium. Can you suggest me some compatible fishes breeds so that I can handle them at all at once? Okay, so it's a very interesting session. That okay. Thank you, Megha. I pushed you there.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
didn't push you,
Megha.
but yeah. So, Megha, depending on the tank size, I would recommend starting with fishes that are smaller in size and hardy. Right?
Hmm.
So, go with guppies, go with mollies, go with platies. Right? These are very hardy fish, very strong fish, and very beginner friendly. If you are
So
keeping a big tank, let's say if you are keeping a 3 feet tank or a 4 feet long tank, you can even go with angelfish. They're very forgiving of beginner mistakes. You can absolutely keep them. And if you don't have the budget, if you need to buy a very small tank, you can absolutely go with guppies. You don't even have to keep fishes. You can keep shrimps if you only have a budget of a bowl. Keep
what
fish.
about
I'm sorry, don't keep
goldfish,
fish.
sir?
Put shrimps. Sorry.
Goldfishes,
So
would
if
they
you
be
want
good?
to, if you plan on Absolutely, you can buy goldfish. They're lovely fish. If you want to buy goldfish, first of all, get a big tank. Please, please get a big tank. Stop putting goldfish in tiny tanks. Please don't do that. It hurts me. It gives me
May
heartache. Okay.
so just tell people how big they can grow with your
Yeah, so
hands. Just
goldfishes grow to like bigger than my head. Okay, so they can grow like this big. They go big. So and they live long, right? So if you're gonna live in the same home for a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades, you might wanna have a big home, right?
Obviously.
So get a tank 3 feet in length, left to right, or bigger, and then you put goldfish in it. You put 2 pairs of goldfish in a 4 foot tank or 3 feet long tank. Not more than that. If somebody's saying you can put like 10 goldfish in a 3 feet long tank, please stay away from that fellow. Run away from him. And another thing, if somebody tells you that the fishes only grow up to the size of the tank,
That
turn
is not.
around, run away from that fellow, because no good advice can come from that fellow if he thinks that is true, right? Because fishes don't grow up to the size of, well, they technically do grow up to the size of the tank, because after that they die. So yes, he's technically right, but they have the potential of growing much, much bigger. So we don't want the fishes dying before they can get to
Uh,
their potential size.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I think it's time's up
Is
for
it?
us for today.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. So I
we
guess
are we are 10 minutes over.
you, yeah, we are overboard actually. So you can give some questions for the next session that we
Uh-huh.
would be doing together again. Maybe not. Whatever the case, you can give it to the audience. Like which
Okay.
all questions, like 2 to 3 questions, and then we can wrap up. Like if
Sure.
they have to
So
search from your side, something different.
one, keeping live plants. Is it good? Is it bad? Do we absolutely need CO2 for live plants? Three, what fishes can we put in live plants and what we cannot? Four, if we are putting CO2, won't that deplete the oxygen in the tank? How the fishes will survive with this CO2 in that? Yeah, so let's talk about that in our next session.
Okay, so
And I
stay
hope
tuned,
I help
guys.
people.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Aviral, sir. And let's pack up. And Petofy thanks you for your precious time and stay connected. And we look forward to do more ventures with Liquid Aquarium. And that's all.